Okay, I am down at Petone Central Bowling Club. Beautiful winter's day here in New Zealand, and just having a nice little roll. As in, like I said last week, of really focusing on getting back into the game. So what I thought I'd do today is just do some basic drills to see where I'm at in terms of what am I actually hitting my lines. I'm going to do some basic drills today with some CDs on the green, and the reason why I want to do that is because it'll give me a really good opportunity to see where I'm at with rhythm, see where I'm at with hitting my marks in terms of putting the bowl over the spot consistently, so that we can put together a program so I can really drill in on that. So I've had about 4 ends, or might be about 6 ends now, and what I've found is I'm hitting my marks. I'm just not quite there when it comes to, you know, the rhythm in terms of being consistent. And I've got pain in my legs already. I think I played about 6 ends. And I think that is literally just due to, you know, I haven't played much in, say, 5-7 years. So I've really got to build up the legs again. I really think that's underestimated. And what I want to focus on today is just things like get my eye down my arm. I want to really focus on hitting my spot in terms of when I'm putting my eye over my arm. That'll give me a really good gauge as to, you know, what we've got to work on. And at the same time, I want to show you some basic drills to basically so that you can focus on your rhythm and just hitting your spot consistently. Because what we've got to do is we've got to get back to a point where we're autopilot, and that's going to take some work. So autopilot's the first step, and once we're autopilot, we then take that to actually go out and play competitively. Now, when you are playing competitively and you're playing in a bigger event, you're not just full autopilot, but the execution part is there. If you're having to think about it and you're umming and ahhing, you know, you're worried about your step length, you're worried about, you know, your delivery in terms of you're following through, well, you know, you've got to get to the point where you actually don't think about that anymore. You're actually just going out there and executing. You know how to play a short end, you know how to play a medium end, you know how to play a long end, you know how to play on, 14-second greens, you know how to play on carpets, you know how to play all the different scenarios. So we're past that, okay? Once you're past that, you autopilot on all of them. And what we've got here today at Central Petone is we've got a carpet green. It's running about 15 seconds. It's a little bit tricky, as in I'm already sort of hitting my marks. I'm an inch right or I'm an inch left, and you know it makes about 2 feet difference up the other end. So you really got to be dialed in. So anyway, so what I'll do is I'll get the camera. I've already got the camera out, but I'll get the stand out and I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just doing some basic drilling, and I think it's really good for you to start to think like that during the off season. Just drill on all different lengths. When you play, and I'll make another video about this, but when you're practicing like this, you want to play the same length over and over again, because you want to train yourself to be able to put 2, 3, 4 bowls down the chute the same. Because that's generally that's what happens when you're playing an end. It's the same length for the 4 bowls. So you need to be able to find the jack, and then you need to be able to put another one on it. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, first 4 bowls down. See how I'm just doing some basic drilling here. See how I'm hitting, just trying to hit my mark. I'm sort of an inch left or right. That's pretty normal, but I want to show you the end result. Not on top of the jack, but what I'm interested in is grouping. Okay, have a look at this. That's what an inch does. Inch left, those two. Inch right, those two. Right, so you see why we have to drill all the time? And that's because an inch off your line, up our end, is a foot on the other end. Mate, up to more than a foot. So if you're missing your line by 2 inches, you're missing your line by 2 feet. And that's literally because of the leverage that we have going up the other end. Okay, so I'll set it up again. Let's focus on hitting a mark. Let's just focus on doing the basics right. This one's narrow. And watch how far narrow I am. Middle. This is a good sign. I'm starting to feel it. Oh. Okay, this is good. This first, second serious practice session. You know. You would have seen the first bowl I pinched. There it is. Second bowl, I didn't have my positioning on the mat right, and so I need to make a video about positioning on the mat, because if I move outwards on the mat, I can get the bowl underneath. If I move under the mat and hit the same mark on the spot, like on the CD, the bowl will literally, I'm opening the arc up, right? It'll turn, it'll start out narrower and then it'll turn more at the end. Whereas if I go the opposite, it'll start flat and it'll turn under the bowl. It'll turn under the head. All right, so let's do that again. As a specialist lead, that's all you got to do. You're doing this. You're doing this every day. All right, hitting your marks. Nail the jack first one. Do it again in the second. Did a video on Corey Wedlock. That's what he was doing. And that's the draw game. And you got to be disciplined. It's disciplined. You got to be disciplined, and it's hard. Being a good leader is hard. The same as being a good singles player. All right. How's that look? Can you see what's going on here? And just focus on that CD. Inch inside, inch outside, middle, and I'll show you the end difference. I'll pace out how far away I am as well. See ya, good night. You too, thanks for having me. Okay, they're not all over the jack, but I'm pretty happy with that. Good drill for you to get into. Just focus on hitting your marks. Hitting that CD, like I said, inch one way is, see how it's hitting the outside of the CD? Not the outside, but as in an inch from the center. 2 feet up this end. You know, like you got to be pretty dialed in to be really consistent. So I'll put the mat down and I want to show you how I'm aiming at my spot. So I'm using the shooter stance, which I showed you years ago how to do. I'm continuing on from that, but I'm just going to show you. Right, so focusing on the mat, okay? Now, there's my mark, there's my CD, out towards my line. Now I'm looking to step around the center of the mat, and that flattens the arc off. So, center of the mat, there. Now I'm aiming, right? I'm aiming at that CD with my left foot. Not exactly at it, but just underneath it. Right, because I'm playing forehand, I have to aim underneath the mark. So underneath the mark by, 2-3 inches. Okay, so then, if I go back here, right, I'm over the top of the bowl. You can see what I'm saying? See that? Okay, I'm over the top of the bowl and I'm aiming that at my spot. Right, and then okay. See how I hit my mark? It's a little tricky because I'm putting the phone on my chest. But I'll do that again for you. Watch this. So this is why using that stance helps, because it pulls the hip out of the way and I can aim my right eye like shooting it with a pull cue. Because this is what I'm doing. I'm shooting with a pull cue. Down my arm towards my target. Okay, so there. All right, look at that. Okay, so see the bowl, center of the bowl, out towards my target. Okay, now, I was an inch outside, but I'm happy with that because I was narrow with the first. Right, look at my grouping. This is what you're doing as a specialist lead or a good draw player. Ding, my mark. Going through it again. Shooter stance, like that. Foot's facing out towards the line. Okay. Now, you're me right now. Might face that down a bit so you can see better. You're me right now. Okay. It's a little bit tricky because I've got the holder stuffed into my chest and I'm playing with one arm while I'm holding on the other. Right, look at the grouping. This is line. This is how we master line. How do I be a freak at this? And so now I'm going to play again. I'm going to play down in the singles, down south. I'm thinking we just do this like let's just go robotic on this. Okay, facing. Now, pinch my line. Now what, let's just for interest's sake, I've missed one, but let's just see how bad it was. I got away with it. I was a metre under the head. All right, okay, so just want to have a quick look. We'll go and check out the result, the grouping. If you're a beginner, this is your foundation. This is your starting point when it comes to line. And you need to drill this. Drill it senseless. Okay. That was the rough one. I hit that bowl, but my grouping's all within sort of, a foot or two. And I'm playing rough, haven't played competitively in 8 years, you know. So if you do this over and over and over and over, we'll see how much better I get in the next month. But it's starting to feel pretty good already. Like, it doesn't feel much different to where I was. My legs hurt, but the more we do squats and work out at the gym, and I might just put a few videos together around what that program looks like to condition your legs, and I think it's all just going to come back nicely. Then it's just going to be, then it's about how do we get some results on the grain. That'll be the next step for us. Subscribe if you haven't, or like the video. Trying to put out some content now. Let us know what you want in the comments.